Days of Stud on TV. How about that?
Las Vegas, Nevada, the mecca of poker. Tonight, the game you grew up on, 7-card stud.
Let's roll.
7-card stud is a real roller coaster.
Yeah.
You can experience amazing highs,
Thank you.
amazing lows.
You fall right into the trap.
You can win 15 hands in a row, and you can lose 15 hands in a row, and it just doesn't seem like it's possible, but it is.
I got faith. That's all you need.
Buckle up, it's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Hi.
Welcome to the World Series of Poker, presented by Miller High Life. Coming to you from the Horseshoe Casino in downtown Las Vegas. Texas Hold'em is fashionable these days, but 7-card stud is the game most of these pros first learn to play. Great amount of experience at our final table today. Our 8 players represent 10 championship bracelets. Hello, everybody. I'm Lon McEachern alongside Norman Chad. And Norm, a great teacher-pupil showdown here at our final table. Men the Master and Men Win.
Yeah, Lon Men is indeed the master. He talks the talk, he walks the walk. Sometimes he even drinks the drink. He's won a couple of World Series bracelets, and he's endlessly fascinating to watch at the table.
And there is Men the Master, a legend here in Las Vegas, alongside his apprentice, Men Nguyen, whom we asked about the strategy for going up against the Master.
He's very aggressive, and I'm a kind of tight player, so I'm trying to stay away from him when I don't like to get involved in one with hands. I can't beat him. He's too good.
I want them to be better than I do, so that they can beat the master. Hey? Beat the master, take master chip, win the tournament. I'm very happy for him.
We are ready to start action at the final table of our 7-card stud tournament. Those are the chips of Ted Forrest, one of the best poker players in the world, already with 3 championship bracelets in his career.
And he won all 3 of those bracelets in the same year, 1993. Since then, hasn't played a whole lot of tournaments. Concentrates on playing in the highest cash game in the world. He is just a pure, unadulterated gambler.
And on the Miller High Life pocket cam, you see that he has 2 8s and a 6. And all the players will be dealt 3 cards, 2 down, 1 up. And the shaded cards on your screen are the players' pocket cards. Over to Men the Master. He has 3 spades with an ace high.
And he's going to raise his jack card there, the jack door card, the highest on the board. And it's very common in stud that someone will raise at the beginning when they have the highest card on the board.
And there's Jim Wheatley from Harrisburg, Virginia. He has ace high. He is the short stack at the table right now.
And with his ace jack 10, he can't look for a whole lot better situations to go all in. He's going to go all in with those 3 high cards.
Over to Men Nguyen, who is the pupil of Men the Master. And boy, look at that. 2 queens. What a great starting hand.
One of the best hands you could have. I'm kind of surprised he's not raising there. He's just going to call the all in. Usually you would raise in that position.
So with the raise from Wheatley, the action back to Ted Forrest, who gets out of the way smartly. And now over to Men the Master.
Yeah, Men the Master's not going to go anywhere with his 3 spades. He wants to look at a card.
On to 4th Street now. 3 men left in the hand. Men the Master, Jim Wheatley, and Men Nguyen. And the Master has 2 jacks showing now.
And with the 2 jacks, that looks like a powerful hand. He's going to bet it, and that is going to be a cause for concern for Men Nguyen, because even though he's got queens, he might fear that Men the Master now has 3 jacks. And indeed, he mucks the best hand, queens. So Men the Master takes back the chips from what would have been the side pot, and he'll be heads up against the all-in Jim Wheatley.
And Wheatley now with the all-in looking a bit chagrined.
And well, he should. He's a 4-1 underdog. He's facing a pair of jacks, and he just has ace high.
Here comes 5th Street, and really no help to either player.
Nope, bad news for Wheatley. He's still looking for an ace to take a lead in the hand.
And here comes 6th Street. Men the Master draws a king. He's now got 2 pair. Wheatley's card is a 6, and there are no cards on the river that will save him. Men the Master eliminates Jim Wheatley. Into 8th place, he'll take home almost $10,000 for his efforts. And once again, Men the Master teaches everybody, including his pupil, Men Nguyen, how to play 7-card stud. Here are the Miller High Life rules for 7-card stud. Each player is initially dealt 3 cards. 2 are down, and 1 comes face up. Players must then decide for the first time whether they're in or they're out. The next 3 cards are all dealt face up with a round of betting after each card. The 7th and final card is dealt face down. After one last round of betting, players still in will reveal what they have. And as always, the best 5 cards wins the hand and takes the pot. Back to action at our final table, 7-card stud. That is all that Men Nguyen has to work with. He is definitely the short stack at the table. At the other end of the spectrum is the chip leader, Chad Brown, looking at $172,000.
In 7 stud lawn, the first round of betting, the low card on the board is forced to bet, and we're seeing that right now. He has to bring it in and brings him into the hand automatically.
Table action will fold from Men The Master, and now over to Men Nguyen. The short count, as we said, 2,500. Checks the hole cards, ace-3 in the hole, a 10 of spades up, and he is going to go all in with that ace. It's now or never, Norm.
Yeah, not much choice for him. He won his first bracelet last year at the World Series in stud high-low, and now he's in deep trouble.
Now our chip leader, Chad Brown, he's got a king up and then a king and 2 in the hole, and he's going to raise it.
Okay.
The percentage next to the player's name is the probability they will have the best hand at the end.
Hope it's the best hand. Oh, you got king.
Oh, you got king.
Well, it pays to look at the other side of the table, and he doesn't like what he saw.
All right, 5 for Brown, a 4 for Men Nguyen, no help.
Yeah, Min's going to need an ace to take the lead in this hand.
And now here comes 5th Street, 6 for Brown, a club for Men Nguyen, 3 clubs.
And now Min will draw to a flush, which would win the hand. Or if Brown doesn't improve his kings, a second ace on the river would win for Min.
Well, Brown picks up 2 pair on the river, and now only a club will save Men Nguyen.
It's black.
He's teasing everybody. Mostly Chad Brown. If it's not a club, he's done. It's the 5 of spades, and Chad Brown's 2 kings holds up. He eliminates Men Nguyen. The Master's chagrined to see his pupil fade away so early. Congratulations, Men Nguyen, 7th place.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life. And in part by Levitra. Ask your doctor about it today. Levitra, when it counts. And Harrah's Entertainment. The World Series of Poker, presented by Miller High Life.
Michael Mueller's all in for 5,500. He has a straight draw. Last card. Michael needs a 5. It is not. Michael Mueller finishes in 6th place.
You hear our tournament director, Matt Savage, announcing Michael Mueller is out in 6th place, eliminated by Chad Brown, our chip leader, who now has $225,000.
Boy, oh boy, Chad, you tough today, brother.
Get cards, it's easy.
Man, the Master was the toughest player I've ever played with.
That's David Fetter from Tempe, Arizona.
Only in the final table, okay?
No.
David Fetter is guaranteed his best ever finish here at the World Series of Poker. His previous best was 12th in a 1995 stud tourney.
And he's got pocket aces right now.
What's the race?
3,000 is completion.
Okay.
He'll go for it. That doesn't leave him very much. Over to Men The Master. I think we're out of aces.
Yes, because Men The Master, his nemesis,
I raise.
has the other 2 aces.
Are you crazy?
If you have, put the chip down. Put the chip down. All right. If you have the ace, what you gonna do? Raise his ass.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that hand. Yeah, look at that hand. Yeah.
David Fetter all in now.
Hey, what do you think I got here, Ace? You?
I know what you got.
All right.
Let the royal rumpus begin.
All I need is a 10 or 8, yeah.
Fetter now with the better kicker with the aces, the jack.
5th Street to come.
8, baby.
2 pair now. 8s and aces for Men.
Fetter's going to want a jack or 2 running clubs.
6th Street.
All right.
And now Fetter is going to need a jack or an 8.
Hey, let me show you first, okay? All right.
He flips over 2 of spades. David Fetter, 1 chance left. And it's the 2 of hearts. Not going to do it. Men The Master eliminates David Fetter. He'll take 5th place and $22,000.
Play good.
Yeah, beautiful.
Believe me.
You bust me, man, every time.
Hey, you know what the final table meant top, right, huh?
Men The Master has been making it interesting at the final table for a long time.
Nobody have more fun at final table like Men The Master. I play poker and I talk sometimes. Nice hands, sir. Sometimes I make joke. Sometimes I needle. I bet you're not gonna beat me this hand. Hey, all the people just go like this and concentrate and they put a head down like this. It's look bad. I want number 1 so bad.
He's not shy.
No, nothing gonna slow me down. Wow.
I mean, you can hear his voice whole room.
I raise.
Down the hall, you can hear his comment.
What?
About 70% of what comes out of men's mouth is smoke and mirrors.
You cannot beat my king, you throw it away.
If you can find that 30% that's the truth, you'll find out what he's got.
I've been playing poker for 40 years and you think that I don't know what's going on here? That's why I'm the master.
Back to our final table and our final 4 as we run down the chip count right now. Chad Brown, our actor from L.A., is still the leader at $215,000. Ted Forrest, the consummate pro, $110,000. Men The Master at $55,000. And the short stack at the table right now, Peter Brownstein from Scottsdale, Arizona, with only 7,000 chips.
And with antes at $1,000 a shot right now, Brownstein's going to have to act rather quickly.
Men The Master folds his cards now over to Peter Brownstein. And he'll be there with a pair of 8s.
This is Brownstein's 2nd World Series final table. He made one in 1996 in Raz. And now Ted Forrest, who has 3 World Series bracelets, all of which have been stolen. So he'd like to get another one he could keep. And he's going to play this hand with 3 spades.
Are you glad if I bet?
You might not be high.
And now Brownstein will have to go all in. He's got the better hand with a pair of 8s, but Forrest with a better chance of winning with 4 spades.
Wow.
4 spades.
Wow, indeed. Peter Brownstein has a lot of work to do, Norm.
Yeah, he's hoping no more spades come out, else he's going to be out of this tournament.
Red.
He's asking for red to go to Forrest.
You got red.
Red.
6th
Street now. Forrest got the black, but it's a club.
On 4th Street, Brownstein was an underdog in this hand, but now with just 1 card to come, he's become a 2-to-1 favorite, trying to avoid a Ted Forrest flush.
Here comes the last card.
I don't see a spade anywhere except in front of me.
He's got 4 spades, needs 1 more to win.
It's red.
And he got it.
It's a spade.
Is it really?
And the flush from Ted Forrest defeats Peter Brownstein, who goes out in 4th place and wins almost $27,000.
Now I'm a fighter. Again, 2 chip later, I'm a fighter now. I'm not a master now, I'm a fighter.
Actually, he's a talker.
I'm ready now, man, I'm ready. Don't cry when I play with you, okay?
Did you ever see me cry, ever?
Little bit.
Welcome back to the World Series of Poker, presented by Miller High Life. There's the prize package, the bracelet, $110,000. 3 left, led by Chad Brown with $212,000.
Chad, you know you against the best to play up the world? Do you know that?
Do you know? do you know that I don't think I have any problem playing against anyone in the world?
Oh.
Actors, what do they know?
Here we go, 3-handed. Ted Forrest with the bring in. And the master, Men The Master. We'll call it, and he's got a pair of 5s. Just a reminder, the shaded cards are the player's hole cards. Chad Brown now doubles up on men, pair of 10s.
And standard procedure with a big pair, you usually raise at the beginning. Ted Forrest leaves, and it'll just be Men The Master against Chad Brown.
And Chad Brown, almost a 2-to-1 advantage. It's the 5s versus Brown's 10s, 4th Street.
And both of them get cards that give them straight possibilities.
Brown bets 3,000. Men calls it now to 5th Street.
And each of them now have an inside straight possibility. And, of course, Brown still with the better pair.
And the bet and the call from the master. Now 6th Street. Second queen in a row for Brown.
And the 2-pair and the straight draw is better than men's 1-pair and open-ended straight draw. Men would need a 6 or a jack for his straight, or a third 5 would win for him.
And it's 6,000 over to the master. And he'll call it. Now the river card to come.
Good luck, gentlemen.
Check it.
Brown checks in the dark.
And checking in the dark on the final bet, not that uncommon. You'll check if your opponent has a really good drawing hand, and you'll wait to see what he's going to do first.
And it is a king for Men Nguyen. It's not going to be good enough. Chad Brown turns over his hand, and his queens and 10s are good enough to defeat Men the Master. Chad Brown wins the hand.
You've got good card today.
But you did a great job to survive because
Believe me, I'm a lot better tournament player than you. A lot. But I don't get caught. Otherwise, I'm gonna get you.
Chad Brown's been dealing with that ego all day, but he's used to it. He's from Hollywood.
My name's Chad Brown, and I'm an actor. Lower back pain used to keep me away from my favorite activities. I was the co-host of a game show on NBC called Caesar's Challenge, and I was the male Vanna White. I used to make the letters move with my Centaurian sword. Before that, I started out on Another World soap opera, and I did a feature film that I had a co-star part in called Slasher.
Damn, you scared of me.
One of the things that's synonymous between actors and poker players is the discipline that it takes to be successful at both. Poker, as well as acting, it's very competitive, especially now with the bigger numbers in the tournaments. I mean, nobody even knows who I am, and I think I'm great.
Well, is Chad Brown an actor playing poker or a poker player who's also an actor? I don't know. Men the Master has also had some odd jobs.
Yeah, among them, Lon, he used to deliver furniture.
Oh, yeah, he used to fill houses, and now he pays the bills with full houses.
Yes, he did. And speaking of former employment, before he became a poker player, believe it or not, Ted Forrest, a hotel housekeeper at a Grand Canyon area hotel in Arizona.
Well, now they're all great poker players vying for the top spot here at 7-card stud. Men the Master, ace high and 3 diamonds.
Yeah, great starting hand.
Chad Brown now king high. He's got 2 hearts in the hole. He'll call the $3,000 that Men put in.
So now the newest odd couple in 7-card stud, Men the Master and Chad Brown, will go heads up again.
Now 4th Street. Neither player has anything.
But Men the Master is going to make a stab at the pot.
Chad Brown comes right back,
and
double stab.
Immediately, Men the Master raises over him.
Well, don't put me all in, man. I don't have much here.
I will.
Okay.
I will.
Well, a little macho going back and forth, neither with a hand.
Men bet 6,000 on a bluff.
But he's bluffing with the best hand. You know, Lon, I tried that when I proposed to my second wife.
Not this hand.
Not this time.
You lying, huh? That's what I got.
Best hand.
Ace high, eh? Like that.
It was the best hand.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
I knew.
He tried to run over me. Not Man the Master. He raised me with nothing. I raised him back, I bet. I showed him ace high. He run away.
Hard to run with so many chips.
The World Series of Poker presented by Miller High Life. 7-card stud.
There's our Toyota chip count. You see Chad Brown with a commanding lead over Forrest and Men the Master. Chad Brown last made a final table in 2002 in Omaha high-low. And Ted Forrest won 2 bracelets back-to-back within 16 hours of each other back in 1993. An amazing feat. Now Chad Brown with a 6-4-2. He's either bluffing or he's back to playing high-low, Norm.
Yes, he's either brilliant or confused.
And a pair of twos for Ted Forrest. Not much better, but he's going to call the 3,000 chip bet from Brown.
And he does come in, and Brown with nothing is going to fire, and without blinking an eye, Ted is going to call him.
Oh, Brown's got an ace high at least.
And once again, nothing on 5th Street. The pair of deuces are best. Chad Brown will fire again on the bluff, and without blinking an eye again, Ted Forrest must have a read on him on a previous hand he's seen Chad Brown play in a certain betting pattern, because he keeps calling him like he knows Chad Brown has nothing.
No good cards on 6th Street.
And again, Chad Brown, no hand and no draw, will bet again, and without pausing, Ted Forrest, as if he just knows the outcome of this hand, just keeps calling him with just a pair of deuces.
Here's the last card.
And it is no help to Chad Brown. His only chance to win the hand now is to bet again and hope Ted Forrest folds.
6,000 over to Forrest. He's just got a pair of twos.
Let's see if he improves. No improvement there, so he has a pair of twos. He's called down every bet to now, and he's going to do it again. He's calling.
And he throws down the twos, and he knew all along it seems like that was going to do it for him.
Wow is right. What a tremendous display of poker skills from Ted Forrest. It shows you why when he sits down at a table, any table, he is always a favorite, a world-class player.
What you doing, Ted?
The hand was vulnerable.
Ted Forrest bet a total of 24,000 chips with twos. That's a gambler.
Somebody once said there's two great thrills in gambling. The first is winning, the second is losing. I prefer winning. A few years ago, I bet I could do a standing backflip here at the World Series. I won that bet. I bet $10,000 that I could bench press 225 pounds 50 times in one day. On the third time, I tore my right pec tendon. I bet I could drink 10 Heinekens in half an hour. I actually won $30,000 on that bet, but the next day, I was feeling like by far it was not worth it. I've won $1 million in a day at poker, and I've lost $1 million in a day at the craps table. I'm going to try not to do it again on the losing end.
Well, Ted later did tell us it took him all of about 24 hours to get back to the craps table, so don't worry, casino owners, you haven't lost Ted Forrest. We continue here, a 7-card stud, 3-handed, and Ted Forrest checks his cards. He's got a pair of 6s with an ace kicker. And he will call the $1,000 bring-in bet over to Men The Master.
And he's got 3 hearts.
Eat him up.
3,000 from the Master.
And pocket queens for Chad Brown.
And he's reaching for the stack and more. He re-raises to 6,000, back to Ted. Now, we saw him win previously with a couple of twos. He's got 2 6s now, and he goes away. Perhaps those 2 raises in front send up too big a warning signal for him.
Very savvy by Ted Forrest. He loved the 2 twos in the last hand, but he knows the 6s are beat this time.
The Master called it. Now we go to 4th Street. 4 hearts now for Men The Master.
So Chad bets with a pair of queens, but he's an underdog right now to those 4 hearts.
And a re-raise from the Master to 6,000.
Raise it out.
And Brown calls it. To 5th Street, Men would love a heart, but he gets the 2 of diamonds.
And now Chad is the favorite in the hand with the pair of queens.
Raise him up.
1 less card now for Master to get the heart, but he's still going to be aggressive and raise only on a draw.
And Brown, the actor, deadly serious here. He'll call the 12,000. Now to 6th Street. And boy, Men would have loved that 10 of hearts that Brown got.
Check, check.
What?
I said check, check. We
Deal.
all know.
You know that?
We already know.
Oh, they know each other too well, Norm.
He's looking for a 6 of hearts. Check blind to my friend.
You chicken.
Check blind to my friend.
You say check blind to my friend.
Well, Master would love a 6 or a heart.
Let me look at the last card.
Yeah, if you don't catch a 6 of hearts, you're my friend.
And Men's river card is a jack of diamonds. He can't beat the queens Brown has. And Brown actually has 2 pair, queens and 10s to win the hand.
Good hand.
And Men The Master quiet of late, very frustrated that he can't get the best of Chad Brown.
If you order some drink, we have 3 of us left. Come on, get a drink.
You got too big of an advantage in the drinking department, man.
Wait a minute, I got 7 beers.
You have too much head start.
I'm sorry.
I'll save these for next time.
I'm sorry, man.
Oh, the poker pro teaching the actor how to do a spit take.
The Toyota Points Leader is brought to you by Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized.
Our 7-card stud event is played over 2 days, and 24 hours ago, 258 poker hopefuls were seeking to earn points towards the Toyota Player of the Year Championship. Among them was the professor of poker, Howard Lederer.
Was that a 9-high straight? Okay, I'm mostly dead.
So far, he has finished out of the money and out of the points in the first 2 events he's entered.
This is my first stud tournament ever.
Robert Williamson is a tournament veteran and a pot limit Omaha specialist. He decided to tackle stud for the very first time.
Gonna have to find me a bus and hop aboard.
The overall championship is enticing many players to play a lot more events than they usually would.
3 6s. Good luck, everyone.
Williamson played late into the night but failed to gather any points. Cindy Violette, a top professional and a stud specialist, finished 16th, cashing in and earned some points in the process. James Vogel, who won his first bracelet at the $2,000 no-limit Hold'em event, did not play in the stud event, but due to his victory, sits atop the Toyota Player of the Year leaderboard. And one of the 3 remaining players at our 7-card stud final table will find their way onto the top 5 after their victory here today.
Say, for all of the ESPN viewers, there's more than one way to play poker. Men shows you one way, Ted and I show you a different way.
All right.
And they're all effective. Who?
Won't affect me.
I just hope it's not contagious.
Let's have a drink first. Everybody have a
We have a
drink.
drink afterwards, man.
Oh.
We go out and have a celebration
Men
drink.
will be passed out by the time afterwards comes.
I'm
Raise
a
blind.
star-headed. I cannot raise blind.
Well, he might raise that 3 to a straight flush.
I'll raise it anyway.
Over to Chad Brown. He has 2 3s. And he will raise it.
Actually, they're both betting as if they've been drinking.
Let's gamble.
Oh, Men doesn't just call, he re-raises.
I slowed down. I slowed down.
I have to slow him down somehow.
Slow me down.
All right, 4th Street. And now Men has 2 kings. The gamble paid off.
Yeah, that hit him good. And a very loose call from Chad Brown.
5th Street.
Don't even bother.
Want the butter? I raise you with his hand, okay? Jack and a 9, baby. And the king.
Nice hand.
Thank you, sir.
Good laydown by Chad Brown.
Because he saw Men's pair and he followed the first rule of 7-card stud at home. When you can't beat what you see, get out.
Roll me up. This hand right here.
Chad Brown, our chip leader, is the bring-in bet. Throws in 1,000. Ted Forrest, no stranger to the final table. Take a look at his cards on the Miller High Life pocket cam. He's got a couple of kings. Only calls the bring-in.
Just slow plays at this time.
Raise.
Men The Master is going to raise with the king.
Yeah, and he'll fast play 3 rags that he has.
Over to Chad Brown. 3 hearts. And he'll call it. And we go to 4th Street now. Men picks up a pair of queens, but still trails in the hand. Brown didn't get the heart that he wanted. Now Men The Master reaches for a stack, bets 3,000.
Chad folds his busted heart draw.
Now between the 2 poker legends, Ted Forrest, Men The Master. Here's 5th Street. No help to either. 6,000 from the Master.
And he still likes his queens. But Ted raises behind him. And Men suddenly looks like he's in the middle of an uncomfortable surgical procedure. It might be occurring to him now, because of that raise from a man who only raises with the goods, that he might be in deep doo-doo.
And he gets out and he lays down to Ted Forrest.
Yeah, he figured it out, and the respect he doesn't show Chad Brown, he had to show Ted Forrest right there. He couldn't see the kings in the hole, but he knew he was probably beat.
Not much talk now from the master. Day 4, and already things beginning to take a toll. Thousands of hours and hands are logged over this 5-week poker odyssey, a mental and physical grind for the players. In this installment of The Nuts, relaxation at the table.
Poker players have a more chronic condition, especially in the shoulders and the neck.
Their back hurts, their arms get sore, their hands.
There's a couple of trigger points that work just like magic.
I needed something to soothe me, to remind me that everything's going to be all right no matter what happens, win, lose, or draw.
Sometimes these therapists, they don't understand. They're like grabbing my arms back of the ear. Wait a minute. I get bent with my mouth,
Sometimes they get a little relaxed and they'll lose concentration on the game.
When it comes around to them, I'll tap them on the head to wake them up so that they'll look at their cards.
This player was getting a massage, and he's throwing his hand out as if he's about to fold, and suddenly the massage therapist stops. The guy lifts his hand, looks at it. He'd misread his hand, and he turns over the hand and wins half the pot.
Poker players can be so superstitious that if they feel that the therapist is helping them win, they'll keep the therapist as long as the therapist is there.
The other day, I was feeling a little uptight, so I had a 5-hour massage at the table.
That's insane.
She was getting off work, so I couldn't get more than 5, but
I don't know how anyone can get a 5-hour massage straight.
and she got a nice tip out of it. We're both happy.
I mean,
Don't worry, I busted out 30 minutes later.
They think I'm good luck.
Well, the going rate for a massage in the house, $1 a minute. And back at the main table, well, they've been playing 152 minutes, so any massage therapist could be making quite a living out there right now. Right now, one of these 3 men will be making a nice living today. Men the Master, with the call of the bring-in bet, 1,000. Over to Chad Brown. Nice, 2 queens. And he'll raise it to 3.
Where men had not raised, we've seen him so aggressive, but this one he decided not to raise when he had the pocket kings, and Chad takes care of the betting for him.
Ted Forrest actually has a pair of 6s. He folded that last time he had it.
Well, and again, this time he's beat by both guys, so a great 6 cents.
4th Street now. Brown with 3 hearts. No real help for men.
Men still with the best hand.
Checks it. Brown's not going to let him get off that easy, but then men immediately raises.
So he slow played at the beginning and set a trap, and now checked raise him, trying to get more of Chad's money.
Now 5th Street. No help to either player. Men gonna bet 6,000. What's that? Oh my.
Chad makes it 12,000.
I'm in the tournament, okay?
You don't tell people you're playing cards.
Raise.
I mean, you lie. He disappointed me there, but he did raise.
He did raise. He paid close attention to what Chad Brown was doing. And Chad Brown calls the raise from Men the Master. Men, a 2-to-1 advantage, and now we've got the largest pot of this 7-card stud tournament here on 6th Street. Queens and 7s now for Brown.
Now, Men the Master originally might have had Chad on a flush draw. Those pair of 7s have got to worry him now. Men, though, does have the pair of kings. If he ends up with 2 pair, they would be better than Chad's 2 pair, plus a queen would give Men the Master a straight.
All right, now the river card down. Chad Brown got another 7, 3 in a row. He's got a full house.
That's the jackpot card for him. And with this big pot, it's going to be difficult for Men the Master to throw this away, even if he doesn't improve the kings.
There's the 4th 7.
Boy, that's a card he didn't want. And he had to call.
And they flip him over. Chad Brown has won the hand, and devastating to Men the Master.
Once again, the rare sounds of silence from Men the Master after that shot he took.
Chad Brown, our chip leader, 200,000 stacked in front of the man right now. Not bad for an actor turned poker player on the weekends.
Look at Men The Master, Lon. When you start to lose, you get a little warm, so you start to undress. I'm very familiar with this brand of strip poker.
Chad Brown now with 9-8-7. And he will bet 4,000. Ted Forrest gets out of the hand over to Men The Master. It's a pair of sixes. 33,000 chips is what he is down to, so maybe a little desperation in his actions now. So Brown and Men will go to 4th Street, and Brown gets a straight draw, but Men's got 2 of the sixes that he needs. Brown bets 4,000. Men will raise it to 8,000.
You know, if these two guys go at each other any longer, I believe in the state of Wyoming, they would be legally engaged.
Brown calls the raise from Men The Master on to 5th Street.
And Men is looking weathered.
It's a jack for Brown now. He's got a double-gutted straight draw right here.
Yep, he now has a 10 or a 6 to make that straight. And he is going to raise.
I'm ordering. Don't tell me you get the jack.
No, you got it so far.
Men The Master all in.
And it's appropriate he's all in against his tormentor.
I'm double gutted.
Which means he would need a 10 or a 6 to make a straight and knock Men The Master out of this.
Double gut.
Yeah, he need my 6, but I have to 6.
And four overcards.
Okay. Give him low card, that's all.
Here comes 6th Street. Oh, and Brown got the 10 and the straight.
Right into Men's gut. And that means Men is reduced to needing a 6 or a 7 on the river to stay alive, to make a full house.
Jeez. Nice hand. Yeah.
River cards are out. Brown turns over an ace. Not needed. He's got the straight.
Oh, it needs a 3 cross, right?
6 or a 7. It's a queen, and that's going to do it. Men win, eliminated in 3rd place.
Good job, man.
All right.
His 7th World Series bracelet will have to wait.
Well, at least he got knocked out in time to make last call.
Hey, what can I do, man?
And then there were 2.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life, and in part by the Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized. And Harris Entertainment.
Welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada, and the World Series of Poker. 7-card stud championship on the line. We're down to heads-up action right now.
You had to do most of the dirty work today.
Huh?
You had to do most of the dirty work today, knocking everyone else out.
Ted Forrest, the consummate gambler, who started playing poker at age 8 for marbles. And the man playing his most compelling role so far, the actor Chad Brown, seeking his first World Series bracelet.
Ted Forrest, world-class player. If I win, it's not like, hey, I'm better than Ted, or if Ted wins, he's better than me.
Raise. Re-raise.
It's like a basketball game.
Chad Brown seems like a pretty solid player.
Ted calls.
Kings.
Good stud player.
Good hand. Chad Brown wins a big pot.
When people are at that level, they know that they got lucky to win against the other world-class players.
Ted will win this pot.
I play in probably the toughest stud game in the world, and I think I'll be able to handle what comes my way in this tournament.
My plan of attack is to win every hand I'm in.
Queens and jacks over here.
That's my plan.
Ted Forrest will win this pot.
Now, there's always plan B, win 2 out of 3 hands.
We've been doing just about that well so far as we begin heads-up action. 166,000 in front of Chad and Ted with 221. And he's looking at a pair of 8s. 6,000 is the bet. Couple of bullets for Chad Brown. He's going to play these every day and twice on Sunday. He only calls, though.
He could have raised, but he's going to slow play it and wants to build a pot if he can.
Here comes 4th Street.
Oh, and actually 4th Street spells disaster for Chad Brown. The third 8 for Ted Forrest, who bets it. And I got to tell you, Lon, it's going to be hard for Chad Brown to get away from this hand now because he's got the aces, but he's in deep, deep trouble already.
5th Street now, and really no help for either player.
No, Chad Brown's going to need an ace eventually, and that's assuming Ted Forrest doesn't get a full house. And Ted, again, quickly bets.
No warning signals being caught by Brown right now.
No, again, it's always hard to get away from aces, particularly when you're not the pro's pro that a Ted Forrest is. But this is just a tough hand to release.
Now 6th Street. And still aces for Chad Brown.
And as he has done the whole hand, Ted Forrest will bet. And of course, Chad doesn't know he has the set because the two of the 8s are in the pocket.
And he raises it.
Oh, he's going to test the waters now. He thinks he might have the best hand with aces.
I raise it.
And Ted Forrest is going to re-raise to 36,000.
And Chad Brown's poker life just flashed in front of his eyes because now he must know he probably is in a world of hurt.
And he can't get away from the aces. He can't get away from the big pot either.
And Lon, Ted Forrest is just bet in the dark before the river card. He's got to believe then that Chad doesn't even have a draw on him, that his hand is best and is going to hold up.
I bet.
And the only hope that Chad Brown is getting an ace here on the river. And the river card is a jack.
Well, 2 pair now for Chad Brown, and he was going to probably call with the aces, so he's certainly going to call with aces up.
And Ted Forrest flips over the set of 8s, and Chad Brown knows he is toast. A huge hit for Chad Brown in that hand against Ted Forrest, who played it beautifully.
You owe 12, Chad. You announced call, but you didn't put it in.
I didn't put the 12 in?
No.
That's plan C, cheat the pot.
Inadvertent, I'm sure. Well, I'd pout too if I lost that much money on one hand, Norm. And you have lost that much money often.
I got to say, Chad Brown, for an actor, has been a very good poker player today. He has really had some nice instincts and deserves to be in the final 2.
Going up against one of the best in the world, Ted Forrest. He's got 5-4-3. Worthy of calling the 2,000 chip bring-in bet.
Yeah, it's a cheap way to get in, and maybe you get lucky.
Chad Brown with 3 diamonds. And now 4th Street, and a straight draw for Ted Forrest.
That's as good as it gets for Ted Forrest. He's up and down straight draw right off the bat. And he's got the worst hand right now, but the better draw.
Forrest bet 6,000. Brown calls after he originally checked. Now to 5th Street. And Brown now with a pair of jacks and a couple of 4s for Ted Forrest.
So they both pair up, and the hand now pretty much of a toss-up. The jack's ahead of the 4s, but Ted Forrest still with that straight draw.
Yeah, Brown refuses to bet.
Raise.
Forrest does. Brown now will raise it to 24,000.
So Chad thinks he has the best hand, and he is correct. Ted Forrest has potential, but he's not going to come back and raise this. You know, he knows that he's probably beat right now, so he'll just call.
We are ready now for 6th Street as the tension mounts inside the horseshoe. And here it comes. Well, Brown's now got a flush draw.
And no help for Ted Forrest. So Chad Brown will bet it with the higher pair and the flush draw. Ted will call it with the lower pair and the straight draw.
About a 2-to-1 advantage now for Chad Brown. And here comes the river card. It'll come face down.
And Chad actually is stacking his chips, so it's his bet, and he appears that he wants to bet this in the dark. He has only 1 chip left after that, so he's probably going to call anything that Ted Forrest bet anyway, so he bets it in the dark.
Ted Forrest gets his straight on the river.
Raise.
And now Chad Brown has some work to do. Only 1 chip left. He will have to go all in.
Will.
So now Chad must make his flush or make his way home.
Let's see if it's time for me to make my flush, Ted. I had the jacks with the flush.
He's not looked at that card yet.
I scrambled the card, so
It's an ace. He does not make his flush, and that means that Ted Forrest has won the 7-card stud tournament here and his first World Series bracelet in 11 years.
It was a tough match.
$111,000 for his victory. Chad Brown played a terrific game of poker.
you know, it's disappointing to lose that last 10, but folks, that's poker, man.
A fun day of action here at the World Series of Poker. Men The Master outlasted his apprentice Men Nguyen, but the Master couldn't beat Ted Forrest and Chad Brown, and ultimately the gambler bested the actor today in 7-card stud.
Ted, you won 3 World Series titles in 1993. What took you so long to get to number 4?
Good question. I stopped playing a lot of tournaments and started playing the side games, but I've kind of had a love for tournaments rekindled in the last year, so I think I'm going to start playing some more tournaments.
Hope you enjoyed tonight's 7-card stud tournament. Congratulations to Ted Forrest. We'll see you next time from the 2004 World Series of Poker.